Absolute wealth. Real investors, real results.
Hubert Centers here, and in today's video, let's go through a question that I got from a viewer. Are trend lines useful? First, let's make sure everyone understands what a trend line is. A trend line is not a certainty. It's kind of like an area of concern. Sometimes it will hold and sometimes it will not hold. So I'm going to do two different examples. I'm going to use the digital ink here and visually draw a trend line. So we're going to use the example of Apple, AAPL, just because everybody knows how to trade Apple. Buy it and it goes higher. So in this example, you can see that in this uptrend of Apple, it was in a valid uptrend until it broke this area of about 600, and then it started going lower, okay? Then it was in a valid downtrend until that was broke back up above 550. And now we're back into a really good uptrend on Apple until it breaks this trend line and trades below it. Then you'd want to get out of it if you're long. Now, trend lines are not perfect, but they are really useful for buying areas and selling areas. So in this software, I'm using TradeStation. So now I'm going to draw it with the actual trend line tool. And from here, you can see if you draw it from here to there, it's not perfect, right? And they're never really perfect when they're dead on straight like that. So what you have to do is you end up having to go higher with the trend line. So in other words, you have to pick your next highest point. So this point, and then you want another point of reference. So this point and that point. And in this case, it broke right at about 603 instead of 550 when I was hand drawing it. So there's an example. Now, if we want to zoom in here a little bit tighter and do it for what's going on with Apple in the most recent price action, you can see here's the most recent high, and then there is the most recent low, most recent high, and it should climb that and then come back and test it. The thing that I don't want you to get caught up in is if you do get a trade below this trend line, that's not really a bad thing. That's a test. It's going to come down here. It's kind of like a kid. It's going to test how far it can push you and whether you're going to do something to it and discipline, or if you're just going to keep telling it, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. It's going to come down here and test this area. Sometimes it'll go below it. Sometimes it'll test it perfectly and then jump back off of it. But it's the area that you're interested in purchasing that equity. On an uptrend, you want to buy all pullbacks to the trend line. On a downtrend, you want to short all retracements to a downtrend retracement. Now, in this example, I've got a 50 tick chart up of the Dow E-minis, and you can see I've got a downtrend line here, and in this example, you can see where it's tested it a couple times. Test, that would be a sell. Test, sell. Test, sell. Test, sell. So if I wanted to trade it there, all I would do is I would say, okay, if this area comes back up there, you place a short order, and then you look for it to drop even more. Or you could just go in there and just short it at market. We'll just go in here and sell it real quick. Pull it down in, get a fill.
Order filled.
Order filled. So now we're filled at 13,249. 13,249, which is right here. I would rather been filled up here. Market's a little thin right now. As I'm doing these videos, it's after hours, so it's not the prime time to trade. Not everybody and their brother is trading with me. A lot of the rest of the world is asleep at this time, and now we're looking for it to drop again, and then as the trend line is extended, my price should go lower and then test the trend line. Good luck. Hope it helps. I'll see you in the next video.